Hello everyone, welcome to the Apache Gamer. I am Apache, and this is Gaming News with Apache. Now, first off, I'd like to apologize for my lack of content over the last month. Last month was just a really weird month for me, both personally and professionally. I was working a lot of hours at my morning job. I do have a day job, obviously. And had a few hiccups in my personal life as well. I was recovering from a spider bite. I know that sounds weird, but I got bit by a brown recluse early on in the month, and it kind of caused some issues with my leg where it was kind of swelling up, and, I'm not going to go too far into it, but yeah, I was recovering from that for a little bit. I also started having issues with my laptop, and it's not completely fixed. I'm still having a lot of issues with it. It is working, but the main issue is the battery is not keeping a charge or staying charged. I thought it was the battery, changed it out, it's still not doing it. Thought it was a power cable, changed it out, still doing it, but it's, plugged in. So I am using my laptop still. It's just on its off leg, which means, unfortunately, instead of saving up to get a new system like I was going to try to get newer content, I'm probably going to end up having to save up to get either a new laptop or a PC. The upside to this is that means I'll still be able to play some of the newer games once I save up for it, but it is going to be slightly more expensive than just saving up for, say, an Xbox X or a PS5. That being said, on top of that, we're also in the process of trying to find a place to relocate to. We just kind of need a bigger place. And so, yeah, it's just been a very busy month. And so I apologize again for not making content as consistently as I should be. But things are finally slowing down. Things are getting easier. I'm going to try to get into more of a flow to actually start getting more content out to you. And that's where this one comes in. Now, I apologize. I'm going to try to keep it short, but there is a lot of stuff to cover because there was a lot of things that happened in August for gaming. I mean, August was a very busy month for gaming. First and foremost, I would like to point out the Gamescom of 2023 that happened in late August. At this con, there were several things that were announced, a lot of things that were in the works that people, knew about, some things people didn't know about, and I'm going to go through a quick rundown of a list of some of the highlights. I'm not going to cover all of them in this video, because the video would just be way too long if I did. But we saw, of course, Starfield was seen at Gamescom for some of the trailers and stuff, and there is a slight controversy going on with Gamescom right now, and I'm not even going to begin to touch that. Honestly, I don't think politics, identity politics, actual politics, I don't think any of that belongs in games, to be frank. And honestly, I'm just not even going to touch those conversations on this channel because I play video games to have fun. I play video games to escape my daily life. And I'm not going to get drawn into some kind of debate or a whole conversation about the politics of a game. It's a game. It's meant to be entertaining. You don't like it, don't play it. So, that's just how I see it. So I'm not even going to begin to talk about that controversy. If you want, you can easily look it up. I'll see if I can find a link and put it in the description. I can't guarantee I will because, like I said, I just want to stay out of that conversation. So Starfield was released. There was also a trailer for a new Payday, Payday 3, which is actually a collaboration with Ice-T. And I thought that was actually kind of a very interesting development. Ice-T is actually going to be helping with the production of Payday 3. For those of you who don't know, Payday did have 2 earlier installments. I believe they were released on the 360 and the PS4. I myself have never played the Payday series, but it did seem like an interesting game, a game that I would be, interested in picking up at some point. But, I may or may not. I mean, leave a comment in the comments below if you want to see me actually play those games, and I'll see if I can't pick them up and play them for you here on the channel after I finish the games I'm playing now. We also got a trailer for Tekken 8, which was going to have a new multiplayer story mode, which I wasn't quite sure how they were actually going to do that, but looking at the trailer, it looks kind of interesting. I'll try to leave a link to the trailer below so you can see it, or actually better yet, I'll just leave a link to Gamescom, their channel. You can see all these trailers on Gamescom. So I'll leave a link to their page below. Excuse me. I'll leave a link to their page below, and you can check out all these trailers yourself. the new multiplayer it gives me flashbacks to the old Mii's for the Nintendo Wii. So that could be very interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for them. I also saw that Call of Duty is releasing a re-release of Modern Warfare 3. So here's my issue with that. I love the games, and I've mentioned on some of my other videos, I love the Call of Duty games. But I'm having issues with companies that are just re-releasing the same thing over and over and over again with just a few extra cutscenes or a little bit more into it. I mean, honestly, it gets kind of boring after a while. I mean, how many times can you release the same game over and over again? I mean, that's part of the reason why I stopped playing a lot of the Zelda games, is because it took so long for them to release a new game, and all we were getting was Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time HD, HD 3D, HD Deluxe, and stuff like that. And it was the same game, just different graphics or more cutscenes to it. Kingdom Hearts is another one that did that a lot. So you have like Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, Kingdom Hearts 1.75, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix 3. And it's the same basic games. It's Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Coded, 365/7, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, those are the games, but they've got so many different versions of them out now. And so that kind of thing just kind of bugs me a little bit. So, yeah, we did get a trailer for new Modern Warfare 3, but it's basically the same game, just redone with better graphics and a few extra cutscenes. Honestly, I would actually like to see another Call of Duty Ghosts. I know that wasn't much of a favorite for a lot of people, but a lot of people prefer the multiplayer. I prefer the campaign. And in my opinion, Ghosts actually had one of the most in-depth campaigns that actually drew me in from a story standpoint. But honestly, I don't even know if they'll even do that one. It didn't do as well in sales as they had hoped, so it kind of got put on the back burner. We also got the trailer for Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Now, Cyberpunk, when that one released, that released in such a poor state that it was actually pulled from the PlayStation stores on the systems. And people were actually asking for their money back because it was just so... It just wasn't ready. It really wasn't. They released it in such a condition that it just wasn't ready to come out. And so when they finally got it working, was around the time that I actually saved up enough and was able to buy it myself and played it. And honestly, I love the game. I love Cyberpunk. It was an amazing game. I played that for hours on end until I finished my my Nomad story path. I started playing a Street Kid story path and didn't really get to finish that because I started playing some other games at that time. But, I did like Cyberpunk. It's just, it had so many issues on release. And now you've got Phantom Liberty, the DLC. And it's only going to be released on the Series X, PS5, and PC. Which is rather unfortunate, especially for those of you who might have actually bought the Cyberpunk Special Edition Xbox One or PS4. Because if you actually think about it, those came with a promised free DLC download once it was available. And it's no longer going to be released on the Xbox One or the PS4. So if you bought that, you're just kind of SOL because you're not going to be able to get the DLC. And honestly, that's just really sad in my opinion. I mean, Cyberpunk's a great game, and once I do get an updated system, I do plan on getting Phantom Liberty, even if I have to repurchase the game to do it, which, not looking forward to that, but, it's a good game and I want to continue it. Then we've got the trailer for Mortal Kombat 1, which, I'm sorry, I'm just not as into that. I haven't really played Mortal Kombat much since Deception. I've played X and XL and X2, 11, all those weird ones. But the only reason I played those was because of some of the DLC characters they added to it, being like Terminator, RoboCop, Rambo, and I loved playing as those characters, but I don't know. For me, the Mortal Kombat series just seemed to kind of decline after a while. And this is kind of sad coming from somebody who actually knew the lore from the originals all the way up to Deception. And this new one, I don't know, it feels like they took the lore and are completely retconning it. I mean, some people will disagree with me on that, and that's fine. You can disagree with me. It's just, in my opinion, I'm not really looking forward to the new Mortal Kombat game. It doesn't appeal to me. And I just don't like how they've been trying to update the lore, update the things for a new audience. It doesn't feel right. On another hand, we did get information for Alan Wake 2, which people have been waiting for that game for a long time. Now, Alan Wake isn't a game that I've personally played, but I understand that there are people out there who really want to play it. And I know there's a lot of people who are looking forward to it. And honestly, even I was actually shocked and impressed that they finally released a trailer for it. So yeah, we've got a trailer for Alan Wake 2. But, that's just touching on the highlights of what we saw at Gamescom a couple of weeks ago. Now going into more of the stuff that actually really caught my eye that I really want to talk about, starting with the trailer for Little Nightmares 3. Now, I've played 1 and 2, loved those games. They were creepy, they were simple, they were fun. It was kind of a glorified platformer in a way, but that was kind of the appeal of it. And I loved the creepiness aspect, I loved the artwork, I loved the music for it. And shortly after I finished Little Nightmares 2, I read somewhere that a third one was rumored to be in development, but we never got anything more after that. So, when I saw the trailer for Little Nightmares 3, I was ecstatic. I loved to see that, and I honestly cannot wait for that to release, because I know for sure I'm going to be playing that. In fact, I might even play it for my channel, so, hit like, subscribe, ring that bell, and, you'll get notified whenever I put in new videos, and I might actually play Little Nightmares 3 on this channel. Might even go back and replay Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So, that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. We also got the trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage, which apparently is going to feature an Arabic language cast with English subtitles, and honestly, I'm actually excited for that. I haven't played Assassin's Creed since Unity. I do own all of them. I just haven't had the time or the chance to play them. Those I might not do on this channel though, because there's just so much to it. And when I play games like that, I tend to run around for like hours on end just trying to find stuff. And that doesn't really make for good, entertaining content. Now, after I play through it once, I may do it again for the channel as a walkthrough for people who want to see it. So leave a comment below if you want to see me do that. But as for a first-time gameplay, I probably won't be doing any of the Assassin's Creed games on here. But Mirage seems to be going back to its roots, taking it back to the Middle East, which, honestly, Altair in the original was one of my favorites. Ezio quickly rose to the top, and he is my favorite. My second favorite, controversially, is Connor. I like Connor Kenway. I like the one in America. But I am a little biased on that, as I do come from Native American descent, and Connor Kenway was a Native American assassin, and I absolutely loved it, and I connected with that. But it is good to see that it's going back to its roots in the Middle East, and I am really looking forward to Assassin's Creed Mirage. So hopefully I'll be able to play that. It just depends on what system it's released on. So moving forward, we also got some interesting additions to games this year. We got the new Alien chapter for Dead by Daylight. For those of you who don't know, Dead by Daylight is a 1v4 game, 1 killer, 4 survivors. And it features a whole list of licensed killers that are released every so often. And one of the most requested licenses was, in fact, the Xenomorph from Alien. So when we got news in late July like mid to late July that we were going to get the Alien chapter, a lot of people were just super excited for it. And then when the PTB came out, everybody was tuning into that. Now again, I don't have a computer that plays those games, so I wasn't able to participate in the PTB. When the DLC finally launched though, I did play the DLC for a little bit. Now, I'm not the best Dead by Daylight player by any means. My MMR is probably like mid at best. But like mid to high. I mean, I'm not horrible at the game, but I'm just not, professional at it either. But I did play as the Xenomorph, and I absolutely loved the gameplay. It was a killer that I actually really enjoyed playing as. So, that was another big thing, is we got the new DLC for Dead by Daylight, which was a very anticipated one. We also got a teaser trailer early on in the month that I actually didn't see until later in the month for a new PlayStation game that I'm thinking might be PlayStation exclusive. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll have to actually research that. But it does look like a PlayStation exclusive game, so, I might not be able to play it as much as I really want to. But it is for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. Now, The Last Ronin is a comic book series by Kevin Eastman and Laird, I think? I've got my copy around here somewhere. I just can't find it at the moment. But it's a graphic novel that's a 4-part series that takes place in a post-apocalyptic New York, where 3 of the 4 turtles are no longer alive. They're no longer there. Master Splinter is no longer there. And there is only 1 turtle left. He is the Last Ronin. And the whole series follows him trying to avenge his family's passing. And it is an amazing graphic novel. If you have a chance, please pick it up. It is an amazing story for anyone who is a Ninja Turtles fan. If you are a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, you will like The Last Ronin. It is perfect for people who are fans of the shows, fans of the comics, fans of the cartoons. If you're a fan of Ninja Turtles, you will like The Last Ronin. And it seems that the game is actually in development. I will have a link to that trailer below, so please check it out. It's a teaser trailer. It's very small, very short, but I'm very excited about it. I cannot wait to see more of this game as it develops. Speaking of developing games, going to Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed for a second. They did release their 3rd free DLC download, which was for a new ghost type. This is another one of those asymmetrical games. It's 1v4, but it's 1 ghost and 4 Ghostbusters. And you play as one of the 4 Ghostbusters trying to capture a ghost. Or you play as the ghost trying to haunt someplace and escape the Ghostbusters. Ilphonic, the creators of Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, they've been trying to continuously release new content for free in order to keep their player base up, which is commendable. Hats off to you. I mean, I wish more companies did that. I hate the fact that a lot of companies will release a half-completed game for like $50-$60, and then later on down the line charge you for DLCs for it. It's like, I mean, I'll still get them because, I love the games, and I'll, get the extra content if it's something that I actually want to play or want to continue, but I don't know, I kind of don't like the idea of DLCs. But Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed and their developers Ilphonic have been releasing them for free for anybody who's playing it. And so if you have a chance, I would definitely recommend playing it. It's a fun game, and it's easy to learn. But sticking with the Ilphonic topic, Ilphonic was actually the same company that made the Friday the 13th game, which the only reason that game didn't last as long as it should have was because of a copyright issue with the rights to Jason Voorhees. There was a huge thing where the original writer was trying to get his rights back. The rights for the copyright itself had passed hands so many times that trying to figure out who actually owned the rights was just a headache and a half. So in the wake of all that, the Friday the 13th game just kind of died out. I mean, the developers couldn't continue making anything for it. They couldn't release any more DLC. They couldn't really maintain the servers. And unfortunately, the servers went down permanently not too long ago. And, you know, it's sad because the Friday the 13th game was actually a really fun game. And IllFonic also did, I believe, the Evolve series, which was another asymmetrical game. And I never got to play that one, but I did see some gameplay for it, and it actually looked like a fun game. So when IllFonic made Ghostbusters, I was a little, because they didn't have a very good track record, but I wanted to play it. I love Ghostbusters. Played it, loved it. I still log on and play that game. It is a fun game to play, and I love playing it. I don't mind being the Ghost or the Ghostbusters. I love playing that game. So, this will now lead us into, most likely, the reason you clicked on this video. We finally got an update for Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. Now, in my last news video, I mentioned mostly about Killer Klowns from Outer Space. That's what the whole video was about. And how the developers on their Discord channel said that big news was coming in August, and that they were going to try to actually be more transparent with more information about the game. Then, again, radio silence, which I was worried about because that's kind of what I was worried about in the first place. They were supposed to release a demo, a test build, like a PTB of it, and then it was supposed to be released early this year, and instead we just got radio silence. Then in August we get told, hey, we're partnering with somebody who's giving us more money and we can actually make a better game, and we're going to try to tell you more about it as we can. Then all of August we didn't hear anything until towards the end of August we finally get information that IllFonic, the company that was doing Ghostbusters, is now producing the new Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. The fact that they did such a great job with the Ghostbusters game, I cannot wait to see what they can do now that they're at the helm for the Killer Klowns from Outer Space game. It's another asymmetrical game. You're going to have 3 clowns versus 7 survivors, multiple ways to escape those clowns, multiple ways to kill those survivors. You'll even have finishing moves, where each clown will have a specific way that they can actually kill a survivor. And so it seems like it actually will be a very fun game once it comes out, and I honestly that was probably the best news I could have heard. And once I heard that, everything else sort of clicked. So for the last part of this video, I'm actually going to explain why it took so long for them to release any information about Killer Klowns and why there was such radio silence. Now, in August they said, not in August, in late July they said that they were going to try to have more information in August, and that they partnered with somebody who was going to be paying them more to make the game. Now, that would explain why there was such radio silence for the first few months of the year. Depending on when IllFonic actually came to them and said, hey, we want to help produce this game, in any kind of issue like that where somebody else comes in to try to buy a game or try to buy the rights to the game or try to, make the game, in any situation like that, you're going to run into the issue of a NDA. They can't say anything about the impending merger or the impending acquisition until it's all finalized, which would explain why there was such radio silence until mid-July. And then the fact that somebody said in July that there was a big news and that they were partnering with somebody might have actually been bordering on breaching that NDA, which would actually explain why less than a week later they deleted that from their Discord channel. And there was again radio silence, because that probably was information that was not supposed to be shared yet. And they were probably danger close to being in breach of that NDA, which would make sense on why there was radio silence, why they released that information and then immediately deleted it and went silent again. So when IllFonic finally said, yes, we are, taking over and we're going to be the ones helping to make this game, that's when we started finally getting more information, including a new gameplay trailer of its alpha version. So it's not going to be the beta that's supposed to be released to us to test, but it's test gameplay for the game itself. And if they do it anything like they did Ghostbusters, we could look at another game that could actually be fun and have a decent longevity to actually keep a good fan and player base. I mean, there's already a cult following for the game. I love the Killer Klowns movie. I love that movie. And to have the game of it would be amazing. I would love to actually be able to play as Shorty running around inside a little pizza box. And so I actually cannot wait for this game. And now that Ilphonic has taken over and that's all been made public, they're going to be releasing more information on it. And so with everything finally calming down a little bit, and I'm going to try to maintain a good schedule of making videos for you, I'm going to try to continue to bring you as much information about the Killer Klowns games as I can get it. So what we know so far is you get to play as one of the clowns. There's like, I think there's like 4 types of clowns that you can play as. Tracker, Shorty, big chubby one, I forget his name, and Spiky. You know, those are like the 4 clowns you can choose from, and you can play as 3 of them against the 7 survivors. And the whole goal is for the survivors to find a way out and escape the clowns, or kill all the clowns. And then all the clowns have like 3 respawns. So you have to kill them like 3 times each. And the clown's job, of course, is to try to get all the humans. And you're going to have your 7 players, but apparently there's supposed to be like NPCs running around that you can also collect. And the whole goal is to just try to wipe out the town and get rid of everybody out of it. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to that game. It's going to be amazing, and it should still release on the Xbox One. That is something that they did say. It was going to be on all 4 systems, the Xbox One, PS5, as well as the next-gen consoles and PC as well. So it's supposed to be on like 5 systems. And if they do cross-play like they did for Ghostbusters, that would be great. So yeah, those are the video games that I was most excited for. Now, I did miss one. I just saw here in my notes, I actually did miss talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I actually did play that game when it released too, and I must say it was actually kind of fun for the first couple of weeks, but it definitely is facing some balancing issues in my opinion. It's a 3v4, so you're playing as 3 family members against 4 survivors. And it's a fun game, and the matches are like really fun if you can actually get a good matchup. But occasionally you'll get survivors who can literally escape in less than 5 minutes without you ever finding them. And vice versa, you can have some killers who are so good at the game that the family member can literally get you before you even make it out of the basement to actually get into the main map. Or, you know, you get out of the basement, but you never make it out of the house because all the family just, you know, they just annihilate you so quickly. So there definitely is some issues with that, and there's a lot of exploitable loops and stuff. One of my games, I actually got stuck at a loop where somebody was just going back and forth through the crack over and over and over again, just exploiting that crack, because there's no cooldown for them squeezing through these little holes in the wall. But it takes so long as one of the killers to go around the wall to catch them. And so we just got stuck there, just kind of going back and forth for a while until, you know, finally one of us just had to run off. But considering, you know, it's a 3v4, and if I ran off, they were right there by the exit. So, you know, there definitely is some issues with the game. But overall, it is a fun game, and as of right now, it actually is on Game Pass for free. Unfortunately, the Xbox One can only play with Xbox One players, and PS5 can only play, or not PS4 can only play with PS4 players. Xbox Series X, PS5, and PC are cross-gen. So that is a little bit of a downside. But it's still worth playing. It is actually a fun game to play. It just, keep in mind there is that slight balancing and matchmaking issue. So don't get discouraged if you get matched up with somebody who just annihilates you quickly. And if you're playing as a family member, don't get discouraged if a survivor escapes in like 5 minutes and you never found them. I'm sure the developers will be fixing that sometime in the near future. So just, hold out on that. It is a fun game, and it is worth the play, and if you have the means, please try to play it. It's a very fun game. So that being said, that will bring it into gaming news with Apache. Now, again, thank you for watching, and I am very sorry that I haven't been as consistent with my videos as of late. Please hit like, subscribe, ring that bell. It really helps, and I will try to maintain a better schedule of getting videos out to you. Again, I'm just really sorry. It was just life got in the way, and there was just a lot of things going on in my personal and professional life. So, again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Night, everybody!